What is up, everybody? Welcome to the second episode of Taiyo. Taiyo is an Animal Crossing podcast. It's super chill, super relaxed, and of course, super fun. Today we're talking about the future of New Leaf, updates on January Direct this year, and as a bonus, of course, I will be telling you guys about my personal challenge for 2019 for Animal Crossing. We'll go into that more at the end of the episode, so stay tuned. It's going to be like an hour long. Grab yourself a snack or two. Maybe some drinks, I don't know, grab something. I didn't grab anything, so now I'm screwed because I don't have anything. So, yeah, I guess I'll just go ahead and get right into it. I mean, there's nothing else to talk about besides this. So, the first question I was talking about, and I was thinking about this last night when I was playing New Leaf with a couple of people on, from the server that I'm on. I don't know how else to say it. I'm part of this server now, and there's quite a few people that still play New Leaf, and I was actually surprised because not a lot of people, I feel like, do play New Leaf nowadays. A lot of people have moved over to Pocket Camp or are waiting for the Switch edition or version, whatever you want to say. But one of them told me last night, because we were visiting each other's towns, one of them told me that they were never going to stop playing New Leaf. So that made me think about, what is the future of New Leaf? Will it die, or will it, still be advertised? What will happen? Like, I feel like it is a really old game, but I feel like it still has a community for some reason. So I don't know. But what I'm talking about there is that I'm asking if it'll die like when the Switch comes out, but I'm also not entirely sure because the Switch and the 3DS get advertised like alongside each other, like they coexist. Like Nintendo literally stated in their last press release that the 3DS is not going away and that they're going to continue to advertise it. So that's where I'm confused as to, well, maybe they're going to provide New Leaf as an advertisement as well, and that way people that can't afford the $360 for the console and the game for the Switch can afford the $220 option for the 3DS and New Leaf. So I don't know if they will advertise both. I really don't. I don't think they will. I should say, I guess I shouldn't say that I know or don't know. I don't think they will. It's very possible, but I feel like Nintendo has to move on from the 3DS. They really do, because there's no way the 3DS should still be around. Like, it is a solid handheld, but it's way past its time. Like, yeah, the 3D was cool. That was nice, and I never used it for New Leaf anyways, the 3D, because when I used it, it didn't seem like it was doing much. Like, I literally have Animal Crossing, or the new 3DS XL, I should say, and I didn't notice anything. So that's where I'm, like, kind of confused why they keep the 3DS alongside the Switch when the Switch is, like, a lot better. Now, of course, the 3DS does have a better library. Of course, it had 7 years now to work on that library, but I don't think they should advertise New Leaf to this day. I think that, yes, it's a good game, and yes, I play it daily still, but I don't see how it could compete with Animal Crossing Switch, and I feel like if they want to reach that 20 million units sold that they really want to by the end of 2019, I don't think they're going to reach that if they try to force New Leaf down people's throats still. I think that'll take away from those sales from the Switch itself and Animal Crossing Switch. So, I mean, there is so much hype for the Switch one that I don't think they're going to advertise it. Now, let me know in the comments what you guys think, because I really do want to hear. A lot of you guys really want to keep playing New Leaf, and that's where I'm like, I was talking to some more people, and they said they don't have a Switch, so they're just going to play New Leaf for now, and they'll get it eventually. But I'm like, how? But it's the Switch. I mean, like, you got to have a Switch. I mean, that's coming from a person who has had a Switch for only like a year now. But, I mean, it's pretty solid. It is a pretty solid handheld. It's got its issues. But I think that advertising a 3DS game alongside a Switch game would be kind of a bad idea. Now, I don't have any information on this. I didn't find this anywhere. This was just a thought I had. So don't take this to heart. I'm actually entirely unsure. I am completely unsure about this, but I mean, it is what it is. So I guess with that out of the way, I guess we'll move on to our next topic. I'm going kind of quick here. Oh, Lord, it's only been 5 minutes. Alright, so for the January Direct, I was actually doing some more research because, you know, I'm over here on Google every freaking day of the week. I've been on Google every single day searching up Animal Crossing Switch and Nintendo January Direct 2019. Or sorry, Nintendo Direct January 2019. And I've been searching that every single day, waiting for new updates. Of course, I haven't gotten any new updates except for one post, or a couple posts that were posted last night. I think about last night. Well, the thing is that they were talking about the possibility of another January Direct for 2019, and I was like, okay, well, I've heard this a million times. You know, it's January 10th is when people are saying. I don't know about the validity of that, and I said that in the last episode. If you haven't watched the last episode, please go check it out. It'll be in the description. Probably not. I don't know. I might forget. If not, it's in the playlist that this one's in. Just go to my channel, go to the playlists, and it'll be season 1. Just go there, click on episode 1. But I was like, okay, don't know about the validity of this. Don't know if this is true. Don't know if this is actually going to happen. We haven't gotten any information. And then all of a sudden, I did some more research, and I found this post, and I forgot. I think it was from Daily Star, which is also, that's a blog that I guess is from the UK. It's dailystar.co.uk. So I went on there and I looked, and they said, "Will we see a January Direct this year in 2019?" And I was like, okay, same old, same old. But then they brought up that in January of 2017, we had a presentation, a Nintendo Direct, on January 12th. Now, of course, that was hardware and software, so it wasn't just games. And I'm pretty sure, wasn't that the release of the Switch? I forgot. I don't know if that was the reveal of the Switch, or let me see, reveal of Nintendo Switch. I know that it was sometime before. I think it was Nintendo. That sounds about right? Or maybe that was like the. No, never mind. That was October 20th. That was around there. That was of 2016. Okay, so I guess maybe that's when like Zelda Breath of the Wild and stuff was revealed or whatever. So, but I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. And then they brought up that January 2018, which I remember this. I remember having this last year. January 2018 had a mini direct, which, by the way, I hate mini directs. I'd much rather have a 30-minute to a 45-minute presentation. But, of course, that was on January 11th. So, that makes me wonder, is it possible that we will see a direct sometime in January? I'm wondering if they are doing it on January 10th or January 11th, and they tell us like the day before, hey, by the way, Animal Crossing Direct tomorrow. Because I've been looking through all these posts, and I've been, I'll read directly from Daily Star here, and they talk about, they're like, what to expect. Animal Crossing Switch is about due for a proper reveal after a cruel tease of Isabelle as a fighter in Smash late last year. So, you never know. Maybe they could surprise us. Maybe they could bring that out. They could literally just post that the Direct is like in 2 days from whenever they posted. They could tell us this is the 3rd whenever I'm recording this. It's not coming out until the 9th, so it's very possible that there's already been a reveal for tomorrow. I'm not sure. If there isn't, I'm saying it's the middle of January. I'm saying sometime mid-January from the 10th to the 20th. I'm saying somewhere in there is when I'd expect Animal Crossing Switch or a January Direct for Animal Crossing Switch, or something else that's not entirely related to that. I think that's probably one of the most feasible options, and I think that I do have some hopes for this Direct, and I want to talk about those real quick, if you guys don't mind me ranting for 10 minutes about what I want to see from the Direct. Now, this isn't going to be all the features I want to see. That's going to be next week's podcast. I am having a special guest on for that. Watch that one whenever that comes out. If you want to see all the features we want to see, or if you want to hear all the features we want to see, I should say, in Animal Crossing Switch, go ahead, go to episode 3 if that's available and you want to watch that. But I'm going to talk about what I want to see in the Direct. So I'm talking about how I want the reveal to happen, what I want them to show off, and possibly a possible release date that I think. So I'll talk about that. I'm not going to talk about the features yet, though, because the features I do have saved. I have a long list of them. I've been working in the background, behind the curtains, with a couple other people that have been talking, and we are super excited to bring you this next episode. But for now, there's just so much information I had to talk about. I'm super excited to record this podcast because episode 1 got so much support in one day. Like, in the first day, it had 80 views, 14 likes or whatever, and it got 10 subscribers. And that's, 9 subscribers. And that's from a channel that had 0 subscribers. 1 subscriber, I guess. 1 subscriber, 0 views, 0 videos, 0 likes, everything. Getting that many in less than a day. And of course, that is because of some amazing people on that server, some amazing people on Twitter who shared my podcast without me even asking for it. They shared the podcast with me, or for me, which was super awesome. I'll just say their names real quick. Shout out to AJ on Twitter. I probably won't include his @ unless he wants it to be posted. And then also Honey is the other one. And those two actually really helped me out. They were super helpful, super kind about everything. And I really am grateful that you guys are loving this podcast, because honestly, this podcast was based... Okay, so I wanted to do this podcast. I get so derailed so quick. So this podcast was originally going to be started up last year. I was going to do this last year, and I decided I would wait until 2019, mainly because there was no information about any new game. So I was like, okay, there's nothing new coming out. I don't know if I can stretch this over 2 years' time without a new game or without a bunch of things to talk about. And I was like, okay, I'll wait until 2019. September comes around, and we get the reveal of Animal Crossing Switch, and I was like, all right, January, it's happening. So I started up the podcast right at the beginning of 2019. I figured that would be like my New Year's resolution, to just post like 52 episodes of this or something for the first season, 50 episodes of this for the first season. I'll figure it out. Each season's going to be like a year, but honestly, the support you guys have given me on this podcast so far is so amazing, and I am so blessed already to have you guys supporting me, because there's not that many Animal Crossing podcasts. There's like one that I found that's consistently uploaded to this day. I think maybe 2. I don't remember the names of those 2 because... one is called Haken, and the other... I forgot the other name was. There was another one that I was looking at. But the rest of them are like 4 or 5 years ago, and they're really short, or they're not podcasts. And I think that podcasts are good to listen to, especially because I don't listen to podcasts just normally. I only listen to podcasts when I'm doing something else or I'm going to sleep. So I figured Animal Crossing is a great thing to make a podcast about, because the whole game itself is based on just relaxing and having fun. So you could easily listen to this podcast while playing Animal Crossing, and it's the same as just playing Animal Crossing. It really doesn't hurt at all to listen to this while you're also playing the game, or when you're just sitting there when you want to go to sleep. So I definitely plan on doing a ton of these episodes, and I'm so grateful to you guys, because you guys blew me away with all the support on the first day. Within like a few hours, I had like 50 views. It was ridiculous. And that's coming from a new channel. Of course, I've had other YouTube channels before that have had like 400 subscribers and stuff, but those channels, I didn't really have the drive to keep uploading. But with this podcast, I am so excited, and honestly, I love Animal Crossing that much that I am willing to upload videos on this every single week or every other week, whatever I have time to do. I am willing to do that, because I am obsessed with Animal Crossing. I love hanging out with people on Animal Crossing. I don't know. It's my life. It's great. Now, I'm going to go back to the Direct in just a second. I'm going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But I wanted to talk, what I want to see from the Direct. But I wanted to talk about how I got into Animal Crossing, okay? This entire podcast, I only had 2 things on here, and now I'm getting off on a rant again. I said I was going to rant for 10 minutes. I got like 7 more minutes, okay? Whatever. So I got started on Animal Crossing with Animal Crossing Wild World, which, by the way, is the worst game in the series of the mainline games, I should say. The mainline games, Wild World isn't the worst, it's the weakest. There's no real holidays, the graphics aren't good, it's really laggy, the game, like the frame rate's only at like 1520 at a solid rate. The fog is unbearable. There's so much fog in that game, it's ridiculous. But that's what started me off. So I remember my 12-year-old self, because I'm 19 now. I remember my 12-year-old self using an emulator on my computer and playing Wild World, and I was obsessed with it. Now, the thing is, though, with Wild World, it's so easy to get bored, I guess, to me, because I love messing with my town and upgrading it and making it better, you know? So I just stopped playing it really quick. But I remember going on there at like 6 a.m., catching all the fish that I could. I would spend like an hour fishing and stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. But I got tired of it. And I think part of that is because of how limiting the game is. But that's what started me off, and my sister showed me that. She actually was like, hey, by the way, I found out about this emulator. There's this game called Animal Crossing, and now she's obsessed with Sims, of course. Nowadays, she's obsessed with Sims. So if she's listening, if you're listening right now, Sims is not as good as Animal Crossing. I'm just saying. That's it. So she showed me that, and she was like, yeah, go ahead and check this out. It's really good. And I checked it out, and it was actually really fun. Of course, I'm 12, so I found it to be the best game I'd ever played, because all the other games I'd played up until then were like trucking simulators or Zoo Tycoon 2, you know, games like that. They were tycoon based or kind of simulations, but also more like challenge based, whereas Animal Crossing is just such a relaxing, mellow game series. I think that it flips the game on, or like the game industry on its head, because what other game besides like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, you know, a few other titles, what other games provide that level of relaxation and just I don't think of any that are as good as Animal Crossing in that regard. I mean, for me, I've always been obsessed with Animal Crossing since I got introduced, but I stopped playing for a few years. Okay, I stopped playing for a few years, and by a few years I mean up until 2016, when I finally got a 3DS and Animal Crossing New Leaf. That was the first game I got on it, the only game I owned for like a year. I got that game, played it 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was ridiculous. I played that game probably 400, 500 hours at this point, maybe even closer to 600. And I have spent so much time on that. But since then, I have been so obsessed with Animal Crossing that I have literally bought every single game in the series, even if I can't play the game. Like, for example, Amiibo Festival, I don't have a Wii U. I bought it just to have it. I have never done that with any game collections ever. So that's part of the reason that I am doing this podcast. Going back to that, is that I'm so excited because I am so obsessed. And I know that whenever they reveal that game and they put up an official pre-order for that, I'm going on Amazon. I am going to order the physical version of that game instantly. I'm pre-ordering it. I don't care if it's $72 to get it to be the next day. I am getting it, and it is coming to my dorm. And I don't care who's trying to tell me not to, because I'm going to go broke. Nintendo, take my money. Okay? Now, I'm going to stop ranting, because I know you guys don't care about this. Or if you do, because I know that some people are like, oh my goodness, it's so great to have someone, you know, dedicated to the game, or, you know, that seems interested. And I really am interested in this game series. So I think that this is probably my best fit when it comes to YouTube. I think that I've done podcasts before. This is my third podcast I've been part of, or, you know, created. I started a podcast called what was it called? I don't remember what the name was. It's been a while. I had like a Nintendo / Fortnite / gaming podcast, whatever. I was in a really, this one I don't like because it was not good. I was in a different podcast that was just atrocious. It was toxic. The people in there were disgusting. It was all vulgar. It was really not good. I really don't enjoy putting up content like that on my YouTube channel or on other people's YouTube channels, so I really was hesitant to keep doing it. I was only in it for like 2 episodes, and I just stopped. I was like, nope, not doing it. But this one, though, this is my third one. I'm doing it all from scratch, all me. There's no one else, just guest hosts every once in a while. So next episode, episode 3, we will have a guest host. Originally they were going to be on today for this post, but I was like, yeah, sorry, we're gonna push you back to the next episode because there's so much information to cover on the January Direct. So I'm sorry I'm ranting like crazy. basically, I think this is my best fit. I really do hope you guys enjoy the podcast. This is the last time I'll talk about this since it's the second episode. I figured, hey, I could just cover a little bit of it, my background. But with that out of the way, we'll go back to the January Direct because I know you guys wanted to hear about that. I kind of just cut you off and you had to listen to me rant for 10 minutes. Hopefully you don't mind. But honestly, the January Direct, like I was talking about, I really want it to be Animal Crossing. I'm not 100% sure it'll be Animal Crossing, but come on, it has to be. Like, I said I'm not sure, but then I just said it has to be. Like, Animal Crossing is such a necessity. It is a system seller. If they put this out, once they put it out, I should say, it is going to sell so many hardware units, so many software units. It's going to be ridiculous. That is definitely going to put the Switch over 20 million. Because I remember watching the reveal of it, and I remember, even me, I was ecstatic whenever I saw Isabelle in that town hall. And then all of a sudden it was like, sorry fam, I'm in Smash. And I was like, how about no? But then they were like, yeah, by the way, Tom Nook comes up. He's like, yeah, Animal Crossing Switch. Just that's it. Just nonchalant was like, yep, Animal Crossing Switch 2019. I'm not telling you when. I'm busy. I don't know what's going to come out. Now, I think that was probably the best reveal we could have gotten. And I know it's a 50-50 and a lot of people hated it. So many people were like, okay, why did you reveal it like this? This is horrible. Stop doing this. But I was actually super excited. I was like, okay, cool. We got an Animal Crossing reveal, for the Switch. And it seems really good. Now, of course, whatever. I'm obsessed with Animal Crossing, so I was super triggered. You won't even believe how triggered I was whenever they revealed that it was just a Smash invite. I was so upset. Like, I literally started, punching my forehead. Like, whenever I get really mad, I punch myself in the forehead. It's ridiculous. I probably have lost about 100 brain cells by this point. But I was super hyped, and then they destroyed it. But then they brought it back with Nook, not Knock, but with Nook. And I think that was probably the smartest reveal they could have done. I really do think it was smart. And I think that them revealing it that way set them up for a really good reveal of gameplay in the next Direct. Whenever they have that Animal Crossing Direct, I think they really pushed it out in such a way that I think they're really going to be successful with how that works. Now, of course, I'm not entirely sure. I could be entirely wrong. But I think for that Direct, they're going to start off with like how they introduced the Pocket Camp. I think it was how they introduced the Pocket Camp Direct, where Isabelle was up on the screen. I'll say whenever you start the game, when KK Slider's up on there and he's talking to you, just like in how he was in Population Growing. Well, I'm thinking they're going to start the Direct with Isabelle or Nook. I think Nook maybe. I'm predicting now. This is my prediction for the Direct. This is the title of the podcast. Animal Crossing Direct predictions. Boom, done. So, I'm thinking that it's going to be Tom Nook. He comes up, and he's like, yo, I know you're excited. I've been working on this town, really hard. I want you to see what we got going. Or maybe he'll take us, through, a skit where he's like, okay, so let's go choose where your house is at. And then he'll show off the town or something. They might show off the gameplay of the town. They'll show off some new villagers. I would love to see some more villagers, honestly. Because I know that we have, a crap ton of villagers for Animal Crossing. Let me actually research this real quick. Animal Crossing villagers. I got my microphone above my keyboard, so it's hard to do this. Number. This doesn't tell me anything. There's 600, okay? I don't know. There's 600. So, I think having even more villagers, I think of more variety would be a nice feature. I think new species could be a thing. I saw someone talking about a bat species, which I think that would be, honestly, I think that'd be really friggin' adorable. And it's not out of the question, because we have an axolotl with Shrunk. We've got Gracie, who's a giraffe. We've got a couple other, horses and stuff. You never see the horses, actually. I have never had a horse villager in my town. Never. But I think introducing bats or other species would be a really cool thing. We already have, frogs. We've got hamsters, we've got, the bear cubs, we've got squirrels, we've got all kinds of stuff, bunnies, everything. So introducing new species would be a cute, because they didn't with New Leaf, I think they introduced the octopus. Animal Crossing, they introduced the octopus, I think, and that was a huge thing. Of course, it doesn't really make sense because they're supposed to live. Oh no, I think they have been in the games. Hold on, there was one species I swore that was in. Okay, so New Leaf. No, they've been in all of them. What? There's the most of them that there have ever been have been in New Leaf. So I kind of got it right. Okay, there's 4 of them in New Leaf. There's only 3 of them in Happy Home Designer. Huh. All right. Well, I think that the octopus was probably the weirdest species they could have done. Now, I do like seeing the octopus or the octopi or whatever in towns, but I think that introducing a new species could be nice. So I think they might introduce a new species. If we do see a new species, that I'm not going to be entirely surprised. I know they like to introduce new stuff. Now, the thing that gets me, though, is that I just don't know what else there's going to be. I know they're probably going to show off the houses. I think they're going to bring over that Happy Home Designer with the front yard, and they're going to bring, maybe they're going to bring in because I know in New Leaf they brought this over. They did where you could actually stand in your room and there was another button to the left, and it was the Happy Home Designer movement layout. So you could literally just click and drag every single thing. You didn't actually have to, sit there, go up to the furniture and push A and then pull anymore. You could actually, I unlocked it once I got to a certain house upgrade. I'm not sure. I think it's whenever you add over a second room or something to the left or right, or I don't know. But it came up and I was like, okay, this is cool. And I definitely think they're going to introduce that back into the new game. And I think they're going to do like how they did with Happy Home Designer, where you can place stuff in between squares. So no longer just the grid placement, but also the intergrid is what I call it. Okay, whatever. I don't think that's the actual term. But in between the grids, in between the squares, that way you have so much more customization. I think introducing all of that Happy Home Designer furniture back in, plus some more, would also be a really good thing. So one last time, I'm going to talk about what I think is coming in. So I think that Nook's going to come up. He's going to talk to us. He's going to introduce us to the town, show us houses, and then we're going to probably, because I think that houses are going to be a big focus on this. I really do, because they've been working up to increasing the design aspects of houses. I think we're definitely going to see that. I know they're going to, whenever he shows off the houses, we're definitely going to have that if he does. I figure he will, since in the reveal itself he talked about how he's working to get new houses and stuff. So I think that could be where that comes in. But I think that we'll get it tossed. After that, I think he'll pass it over to someone else. Probably Isabel. Maybe someone else. I'm not sure. I think it would be Isabel. Even though she isn't Smash, I think she'll still make it into this new game. Because of course she will. Everyone is obsessed with Isabel now. So I think that they'll pass it over to her. She'll talk about how we're still the mayor, how we've got more public works projects, how we've got more stuff to work on. I think we'll have more customization with different public works projects. I think we'll see more buildings and stuff where you can go into, because we had it with the cafe, but I think we'll have more of that. And I think that she'll probably talk about the different size of the town, all of the town residents, how many there are now. I don't think she's going to talk about the full amount. I think she's going to talk more about how many you start with, stuff like that. I think that, and I know I'm saying I think a lot, but of course there's nothing set in stone. This is just entirely a prediction, and I don't want to sound super confident in it because I don't want to look wrong. If I say I'm 100% confident with no backup, no support, and then I'm wrong, I'll be like, okay, well, I look like an idiot. But this is just my prediction. This isn't me saying it's going to happen 100%. I think this would be a very ideal direct, because not only do you cater to those who want that customization that they got with Happy Home Designer, you're also catering to those who want that outdoor building and, front yards and exterior, decorations like they have in Pocket Camp. You've got the people who want to know about having a bigger town and having a new species and having more villagers. You cater to those people, and you cater to the diehard fans by providing a dialogue very similar to how the very first dialogue started from the Butsunomori in Japan. Even then, like, starting from there, it's always been that. So to keep that going, that also caters to those diehard fans who want that to keep going. So I think that it caters to everyone, and I think that could be very ideal for what they're gonna talk about. I'm not 100% sure. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I think that will be in January. I think they've already been working on it because, honestly, and I heard this as well, and I really do agree, and I was thinking the same thing. They've had to be working on this game since before the Switch came out, right? Because think about it like this. Breath of the Wild, they started production on that, 2013, 2014, right? Somewhere around there, I'd like to say. Now, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, and I will gladly say I'm wrong. They presented it, and they're like, yeah, it's coming out, this year. And then they delayed it all the way up until 2017. So I'm thinking that if that's the case, and they were working on that game for 3 years, 4 years even possibly, then it could very much so have been working on Animal Crossing Switch since 2016, whenever they finally started to get that hardware working. Because I know that a lot of these games were being developed when the Switch was also being developed. So, and like, for example, the motion controls for Mario Odyssey, those were pretty much implemented into the Switch because of Mario Odyssey and because of Breath of the Wild. Literally, motion controls are littered everywhere in Mario Odyssey. So I'm thinking they must have been working on Animal Crossing Switch since a couple years ago, because there's no way you can reveal a game and finish the game in that year. There's no way. So they've been working on this game for a while. They've probably been sharing assets, because the thing is, they don't have to provide any assets anymore. They already have all of the HD assets that they need, all the images from Pocket Camp. Pocket Camp is completely HD. Everything's HD. All they need to do is model everything, throw those textures onto it, apply their shaders, apply their, behavioral patterns, their behind-the-scenes work, and you've got a new game. So the thing with Animal Crossing is you can very easily just take that old coding, or not easily, but you can take that coding, that mainframe, transfer it over to a new one, add a few things, remove a few things, upgrade the textures, you're done. So I think that they've been working on this game for a while, and I think that now they are definitely willing to show us, because there's no way they would lead us on up until the end of this year. I mean, we've got so many releases coming out, and I talked about this back in episode 1 as well. We've got plenty of first or AAA, titles coming out, mainline games, their main franchises have already come out in 2017, for example. We already saw Zelda, we already saw Mario. I doubt we'll see those. We saw Pokemon last year, but we're getting it again this year in the fall. Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing Switch. We just got Mario or Super Smash Bros. So I doubt we'll get a ton of directs anymore, because all of last year was just based entirely on Super Smash Bros. Up from E3 on, which was kind of annoying. But I think we will see a January Direct, and the more that I see this information, the more that I think about it, I think that it's very plausible. And now, of course, this is coming out on January 9th. Whenever I'm recording this is 6 days ahead of time. I got super excited and recorded this ahead of time. But if it is the case, and I was right, and this game is being revealed very soon, if they've already revealed by this time a Nintendo Direct, which if they reveal Nintendo Direct, let's face it, it's probably going to be Animal Crossing regardless. But if they call it an Animal Crossing Direct, it's a wrap. That's all I'm saying. And I will literally do whatever it takes to watch that Direct. I don't care what it is. I will watch it live, and I will make a podcast probably talking about it right afterwards. So I think that it's going to be somewhere in the middle of January. I think they're going to do all of what I just said, the Tom Nook, the Isabelle introducing. I think that that'd be a great way to introduce it, because they did something very similar with Pocket Camp, where Isabelle was talking about every feature. It would be her with like a little bubble that came up or whatever, and then it'd go into it, and there was the commentator. So I think that that'd be a very smart choice for them, especially with how much this game is going to have in it. And that would be a really good way to streamline it, show off a bunch of stuff, a bunch of Easter eggs or stuff that you didn't really talk about but are in there, shown off. I think that that's what we're going to see. And I really do think that, and I'm 75 to 80% positive that we will see something along those lines. Now, of course, Animal Crossing is Animal Crossing. There's not many ways you can display it or, reveal the gameplay. But I think that it's going to be to that method of madness, with Tom Nook, with Isabelle, each going through and talking about their segment of the game where they've always been introduced, and then boom, you've got the reveal. Then you get a release date. I'm saying March or April. I'm gonna say April. I'm saying, no, you know what? I'll say April or May. Somewhere in that range, April to May of 2019 is when I'm saying there's going to be a release. So if we get that reveal now, or this month, then that means May, I guess, would be practically like 9 months almost, right? Because that's that's literally 9 months. And Super Smash Bros. Came out 9 months after their reveal. And that was just the Splatoon, with the... And then the Smash Ball showed up. So, and that's very similar to what they did with the Animal Crossing one. So 9 months seems very plausible, especially when Reggie was talking about how they only want to reveal games that are close to completion. So if that's the case, that means it's very possible that this game is coming out sooner than we expect. And honestly, I think that I'm talking about May it's coming out. So I'm just going to have to get through the second semester of this school year, and I've got Animal Crossing in my pocket. I guess not really in my pocket, because I already have that with Pocket Camp. But that's my prediction. I'm not going to make this episode an hour long like I initially said. I'll probably go for a 45-minute for this one. But this is the end of this podcast for the majority. Now, if you do want to keep listening, I do have a bonus segment that I'm doing right now that I'm talking about. It's another topic, and it is my Animal Crossing challenge. But so I thought about this a little bit ago, right? And I was like, okay, what can we do to spice up Animal Crossing? Because I know that this last year waiting for the Switch version is really difficult for me. Because I'm like, okay, when can I stop playing New Leaf? When can I stop? I've been playing it nonstop for 2 years. And reality is I'm going to keep playing that town. I'm going to keep with Taiyo on New Leaf. I'm going to keep that town. I'm going to work on it more. But I'm also going to name my Switch town Taiyo. And that's going to be the future of this podcast. So I'm going to talk about all of what happened to my town. I'm going to, discuss the future events like I talked about. But I was figuring, what's a good way to keep myself interested without having to worry about, paying for a bunch of stuff or, constantly going on the internet and sharing something, And I was thinking, I was like, okay, well, what can I do? And so I started writing this up, and I like to write down my challenges on paper or on my phone in the notepad. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna work on this. And I came up with something that was really interesting. I was thinking, what if you take it, you start on January 1st or later, whatever day you start on, and you go for the next 365 days, and that's really difficult, a whole year, 365 days straight of playing Animal Crossing, keeping track of what you're doing in your town, and journaling what you're doing in your town. Now, of course, this is working towards your challenge goals, which I will talk about in a second, but I was like, okay, so not only am I just playing for fun, and not only do I not have to worry about anything, short term, like with initiatives in your town, which I never do, honestly, for those Meow coupons. I don't have the drive to do them. They're always like, go to this place, go to that place. And I get it, but I'd much rather just play the game at my own pace or whatever I want to do and just journal it about it. So you just play your game for an hour, 2 hours, 8 hours, whatever you want to play for that day. And right after that, you just go in your journal and you're like, okay, so I did this, this, and this today. I'm working on this. Someone just requested this. And, it was a really fun day, or it was a really boring day, or it was raining, it was sunny. Just talk about your day in the game. And it's a great way to keep yourself interested without having to worry about grinding for challenges. So the final challenges are very simple. They are very difficult if you're trying to shove this into 1 year of gameplay. They're extremely difficult, at least for me, since I don't really focus too much on these. But I call this one, so I'll say this. The challenge is called the Town Trailblazer Initiative, and I was gonna make a post about it on somewhere. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I might do a post about it, or like a video about it here, and just make like a presentation for it, and then post it on here, and that'll be some cool weekend post or something. So basically, your challenges you have to get to, for example, are here are the challenges you can complete. Complete the fossil collection in your museum. Complete the aquarium exhibit. Complete the insect exhibit, and complete the artwork exhibit in your museum. So you have to get your museum entirely done. You have to pay off all of your home loans, unlock all of the Nookling store upgrades, save up 25 million bells, collect all of the exclusive furniture sets, Halloween, Snowman, Festive, Balloon, whatever, all of those. You have to build 20 public works projects, not including bridges. I'm not entirely sure on what the max is. Someone said they reached max last night. I didn't even know that was possible. But build 20 if possible. Unlock all of the emotions, which are the jokes from Shrunk. Reach the perfect town status, which is probably the easiest thing on this list. And of course, complete your journal in real life with 365 journal entries. Now, it doesn't seem that difficult, right? You're like, okay, I play Animal Crossing every day. But your objective, though, is not only to celebrate, or not only to complete all those challenges and play every day, but you're supposed to do every holiday. That's part of this. I'll copy paste this and I'll talk about it or something. I'll figure it out. I'll bring you a video that has everything that you'll need to know. So it says you should do every holiday, and so I'd recommend getting a planner. So I got a planner. I got a cheap one from Walmart for like $6 to $8, whatever it was, and it has the monthly, but it also has daily. So I just go through all the months. I write down all of the holidays, every single event throughout this entire year. I've got marked down for 2019. I've got every single one of my villagers' birthdays, and I was like, okay, mark all these down, keep track of it, mark off the days I play, and you're supposed to do every single holiday. You have to get every single thing from each holiday. So, for example, for Harvest, you need to collect all the Harvest furniture, but also help him. And you really should go to your villagers, like, you know, hang out with them at their house all the time. Have them hang out at your house whenever they say yes. Go to their house for their birthday, stuff like that. So basically, your entire goal is to do every single thing you can in your town throughout the entire year. Now, I'm not going to make this goal already, because this is, for me now, up until 2019. It's not it's not like a year of my town being started. It's actually, right now, I'm at like 11 months since I started my town. February 12th or something is whenever I started Taiyo, okay, of last year. So I need to focus on this, but I think that's a pretty, I don't think it's a difficult challenge if you're motivated to play a lot, but if you're like me and you struggle to collect everything and you struggle, you know, to do this or that, then this is probably going to be very difficult for you. It's difficult for me. I'm really trying now. I've been donating fossils to museum nonstop. I've been donating a bunch of fish as much as I can, and it takes a long time. I'm not gonna lie, it takes a long time. I should get all the gold tools, because the gold tools really aren't that hard to get. So we'll add that to the list of challenges. Okay, if you wrote down all those challenges, doubt it, then mark down get all of the gold tools as well, because the gold tools aren't really that hard to get. We'll also mark down get all of the silver tools. Get all of the silver tools. Now, the silver tools are going to be the tricky one in reality, because the silver axe, you can only get that at Tortimer Island, and that's very rare to get. It still breaks and everything as well, so it's kind of pointless to get it. But I'm going to say get all the silver tools, which I have like half of them, and then get all of the gold tools, and then your challenge list is done. But honestly, I'm done ranting for today. You guys have listened to me for 45 minutes. With all that information out of the way and covered, it's about time we end off this episode of the Taiyō podcast. If you enjoyed, please like the video. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.